Hi.
Hi.
Okay, I have a question for you. First, John. Not to say any major spoilers, but recently a character in your comic died, and and I was wondering if, before you kill a character, if you have to go and ask permission for a character to die. I know with Sins of the Wreckers, a lot of the characters were C-list characters, so it was kind of okay if you killed them off because they don't really make a lot of toy money.
Roadbuster wasn't going to be the main character in any movie anytime soon, So not that Roadbuster dies by Sins of the Wreckers.
but the character who died in your story was B-ish, maybe A-ish character. So I was wondering, do you have to talk to someone to say if it's okay to kill them, or can you just kill a character?
Everything gets approved, through Hasbro. They see everything. So if they have a problem, they'll come back. I think when you go back, I think this is different when you guys were doing Wreckers, because I think there was. There maybe wasn't the same level of trust between us and comics and Hasbro at that point. I think over the years we kind of just generated a trust, and the people working on the toys and working on the brand at Hasbro like the comics. So we kind of got to a place where they were okay with they understood where we were coming from when we were doing something. So we could. I don't think there's been a character that we've. Unless there's been some, there hasn't been a straight up don't do that because we're making a toy of it. That's never, as long as I've been there, that's not been a thing. As long as I've been involved, I mean. And I don't think that, I think you're correct that was a thing before. So we didn't really have to check necessarily, but I think I told Michael Kelly about that story a year and a half or 2 years ago. You know what I mean? This is something that's been there for a while. Because so he knew about it. And it realistically in comics, once I'm gone, and somebody else comes in and starts writing that, there's ways to bring characters back. They brought back Bucky and Captain America. They can bring back anybody. So I think there is kind of that in a macro sense. It's they're this isn't he's not coming back next issue. I don't mean that, but this is if you really looked at the continuum of comics, if they really wanted to, years down the road, there's a way to have him come back or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I think they kind of look at it that way. The character still exists in other media too, and in the TV show. And
he's one of the characters who's in the TV show, huh? Oh, that's interesting. Narrow that down, guys.
Maybe. You kind of got me there. I think so. He might be in the movies. I don't know. So sorta. I guess that's the answer. The short answer is sorta.
I think the thing is to not be precious about it as a writer, because once you're off the title, as you say, that's it. Anything goes. Do you know what I mean? Or not even off the title. Even if you're just writing a one shot, you do something in a one shot, you can't expect it to be, unless you're the main series writer. It's not up to you what happens next to that character. So yeah, it's just comics, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, the next creators have to have. You want them to have the same. This is getting more we're talking about our own wake or something now. But years down the road. We're these characters are still going to be around in 20 or 50 years, and somebody else is going to be writing it, and they've got to have the same freedoms that that we've got to.
It's nice to have
our stories.
It's nice to have a character that is quite recognizable, kind of die. Like I said, the Wreckers characters, the readers of Wreckers can be hugely invested in those characters, but it doesn't. It's not like a 1984 kind of flagship sort of, would have been used on a lot of branding. You may have worn, you may have had the bedspread with this character on it, the way that possibly this character who died in issue 9 of Optimus Prime was.
I didn't. That said, though, there is a big difference between the characters and Wreckers dying where it really means something. You know what I mean? Where you're reading that story and it. I read Wreckers and I didn't know most of those characters at the point that I read Wreckers, and I was 100% invested.
You said you knew less about the characters after you read the series. You were like, these characters have no arc. They
died.
Where are their voices?
What do you mean?
No, that's true. You did say that. I remember one of our first meetings about Sins of the Wreckers where you didn't know.
Yeah.
You didn't really know anything about Wreckers until you read Last Stand, and you were able to kind of glom onto them and kind
Oh
of.
yeah. But like, you care about those. I mean, like, I think there's like, hopefully the issue in question wasn't just like taking a big character and
absolutely,
axing him. It was, like, hopefully there's something, I think that's more.
The legwork had been done by you.
Yeah, but I mean, like the minor characters mean as much to somebody that gets invested in it. You know what I mean? Like, even if you don't come in knowing those characters.
Yes, yeah.
Like, I don't know. We're just patting each other's back.
Yeah, I'm as valid as you, John, is what you're saying.
No. Let's get that.
I'm not saying that.